Why is it doing that? Sorry, guys. We got to figure out what's going on here.
You're good.
But nothing but problems all night. See if that works. Hey, there we go. Welcome, everybody. Sorry we're a little late. We'll make up for it on the back end. It's my fault. I got busy. Lee's yoked, dude.
That's a sight to see.
Lee's yoked. For an old guy? Yeah, he's pretty
he is.
yoked. What's going on, Chevelle? Sorry. Hey, sorry about that. You can watch the recorded show later. Sorry about that, guys, to get started a little bit late. Here we go. We'll see you in the 2-minute other side.
It's Red Friday. RED Friday, which stands for Remember Everyone Deployed. A movement designed to honor veterans and deployed U.S. troops by wearing a red shirt every Friday. As simple as that may be, Red Friday is a great way to back those who serve our country. Go to dumbshow.com and search for Red Friday to get your red on.
You got a 60-40. That's going to happen.
All right.
Chris,
I'm
so
jealous
good.
now.
So good.
I'm totally
good.
jealous now. That was
He
awesome.
did like eight. He did like 8 of them. They're all great. There's one that we cannot play because we will be banned.
Yep.
He does a white Southerner from 1940 talking about keeping America white. And it's so hilarious. But we can't put it on.
He is still the most sharp-dressed man.
Oh, he is. Totally sharp-dressed man.
Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies. Back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the Spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
I'll tell you what, we were talking about this when Mike got here, that, and I think he understands what I'm talking about. I know Leroy will understand, is like when you're busy, but you're not busy, that's the busiest you can be. But when you are busy, you don't know it's busy, so therefore it's not busy. And I was in a rut. Like I didn't have enough to do. Even though I'm like, I edit, I do video, I was now 2 news articles a day, which is a lot of work. Cutting a recorded show 5 times a week, a live show 5 times a week. We're talking about making reels, making posts, making memes, reaching out to people to come on the show, running a full merchandise business that, we're getting. Now I'm busy. Like I wasn't busy. Now I'm busy and I love it. Like my attitude is like Olivia tonight was just calm, direct, but not stressed and frickin'. It's just, honey, okay, let's do this. Honey, let's okay, let's do this. And this is where I'm at my best. Like load up my plate. I want more. That's where I'm at. So not only that, we're trying to help PFC, Percival Flag Company, get on with Spreely TV to be a vendor for them so they can have discounts and such. So
That'll be a good one.
Trying to do so many cool things. Mike's back. Good to have you. Leroy, welcome back to the show. Olivia,
Howdy.
as always, looking beautiful.
As Leroy said,
Thank you.
looking good. And then you went and turned it around real quick.
Well, it's it's what we do. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. We've got, I love action. I love it. Like this is where, when I was regional or district manager or whatever, they like gave me 16 stores and we took those stores from last in the region to top 3. And they're like, well, we're going to go ahead and fire the Southern district manager too. How do you feel about having 32 stores? Sure. Well, here you go. Now you're running 5 states and congratulations. And I love busy work. This is the way it was in Intel. Leroy knows, even though he's pissed off right now and he's stressed and he's got so much crap going on, this is where we are in our element. And
Is it that obvious? Is it?
Not at all.
Yeah,
You hide it amazingly.
You've lost a crap ton of weight. I'll tell you that much, which means that you're busy, which means you're moving around. You're skipping meals. You're drinking a lot of coffee. You're not taking care of yourself. And we've all been there.
Well, that's all true.
I know. That's why. That's all true. All right. Well, we got a lot to do. Anybody want to share anything about for the week? Anything that's just in your craw right now you got to talk about, or shall we delve right into it? Okay.
No, let's just dive into it.
Dive into it, he says. If you have not had a chance, do me a favor. Go over to any of our social media channels. Go take a look. We just have a new video out. This is the new format we're going to be doing. Give everybody a quick taste test of what it kind of feels like. It's the same show, 15 minutes long, but it's got a syllabus to it. If there's something you don't like, you can fast forward. But it's more rapid fire. Here's just a quick taste of it. What's going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me show. Red Friday to be exact. Sorry about that. Let's try going to the video source and doing it the right way, because that's the only way to do it. Here it is. What's going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Yeah, it's just like, remember I said I was busy? I was too busy. Hope you all have a great weekend. But before we get to it, we have 3 topics tonight for you. The first one is Tucker Carlson goes to McDonald's in Russia. We have the video. It's an interesting one. A donation of a large amount to one of the Kansas City shooting victims. You need to hear about this story. And last but not least, Colorado, my old stomping grounds. The mayor complains about illegal immigration and is a sanctuary city. So the nice feature is that obviously you've got little indicators that show you how much longer it is into a segment, which honestly, I don't think there's any other show that's doing that. And what's nice about that is let's face it, I'm a pretty original guy, but I'm not the most entertaining on everything. So there's a segment you don't like, but you really want to get to something else. Now you can go through it and get to the end or get to the portion that you like. Trust me, that's not easy to do. And anybody tragic who has done graphic design or video editing or anything else knows that's not easy. So I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. First topic.
No, that looks great.
Yeah. Financialists say, oh, one more thing. Sorry. I know. We got to do all the stuff that's in before, because you got to know we're working hard and trying to make changes that are for the good. So if you,
There you go. There's your applause.
There's my applause. Thank you.
It's a little late, but it's there.
So this is a cool feature. We got to get you a shorter applause. So this is a cool feature. If you go, there we go. You go into YouTube, you go into Twitter. What's nice now is that there's timestamps. These are automatically put in. So if you want to get to a certain segment, all you do is click on these to show you the first one, and it automatically donates 100,000. So let's get right into it. It's not a bad deal. So if you're on YouTube or Twitter watching us, just makes your life easier. Listen, you're busy. You don't want to sit around and wait for things to load. First topic: the financial assassination of Donald Trump. And if you remember, we had a conversation about this, and people said, well, what about Trump? What about him running in 2024? What does this look like? And I said to you, he's not going to get there. They are going to keep him in legal hell up until the day of the election. And they're going to financially bankrupt him. They are going to put him under so many constraints from legal, just conundrum of legal precedent after legal precedent. And it's going to be like the tobacco company, is that once the tobacco company settled for a case in regards to cancer, or McDonald's allowed themselves to be sued by hot coffee, everybody got in on it. And it crippled the tobacco industry. If you guys remember, they had to settle a lawsuit. It was something like $7.3 billion. I mean, an ungodly amount of money about 20 years ago. And they've been selling packs of cigarettes for $8, $9, $10, $12 a pack ever since. Donald Trump is in some serious trouble. And it's not because he's in trouble for the things that he did. It's for the things that they are going after him for. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about this. We're going to allow the hosts to kind of chime in and see what they think. But there was a ruling that came down today, and we will go over to the news on The Dumb Show and look at that article real quick and get everybody's opinion. There's a video I want to watch from there that we uploaded. You can go there by going to the news. So it's news.thedumbshow.com. Easiest way to get there, and you get yourself the full article. So let's watch this video real quick.
Compliments on the way you have that organized. I really love. I had a chance to go through it a little earlier today, and it was just indexed so well. I really liked it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a cool thing because it's a lot of work. But if you even want to go in here and just do a search for Trump, you're not going to get inundated with a bunch of crap, but everything Trump related is going to come up, and it's all there, ready to go. What's really cool, like military right here, you want to click on these red things. So if you click politics, all articles about politics will come up. You want to click on military, whatever you want to click on, it's all right there for you to do. The nice thing also is the podcast is into it. You also have comments, which are being left, so you can kind of participate in that. And probably the most important thing that Mike and I talked about when we did this is we didn't want a news page that you were just completely slaughtered with ads, right? The ads are clean. I've left the right side bar completely free of ads, and you will see the exact same size as photos. Usually under a photo, you'll see an ad, so you can look at your picture and get right back down to your text. Look at your picture, look at and get right back down to the text. So the ads aren't completely overwhelming, which unfortunately is what we get.
Whoa, what's that?
I don't know, but I'm going to click it for sure. I just my eye caught it, and I was like,
what kind of clickbait thing?
Anyway, so also last thing, if you want to go and obviously get to the site, you can listen. You can shop. All of it's right here. And then if you just want to get a quick splash, what's really cool also is you can see the posts that are getting the most traffic. On average, our posts are getting about 5,000 views. 5,000 right now. So Spreely is pushing this, but on Facebook, the news site is growing fast. And honestly, I'm getting a ton of interaction from this. So it's exciting. All right, let's get to this. Here's the video, which is embedded in the article. And this is from Fox News. Let's give it a watch.
I want to bring in Ari Fleischer, former White House press secretary and Fox News contributor, and Shannon Breen, Fox News Sunday anchor and our chief legal correspondent. Shannon, let me start with you. So no surprise, obviously, that he was found liable because the judge found him liable before this case began, correct?
Correct. And we are now looking at this. Of course, I jutted to the bottom to see what we can find in the conclusion. And there are several big numbers in there. The judge talks about in this finding Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, Alan Weisselberg, and others involved in this, as you said, had already decided that they had been fraudulent in some way. One of the first things he orders is that several of them together, including Donald Trump, and his trust and Trump Organization will be have to pay $168 million and change. The next paragraph goes on to say that there's another ruling for $126 million and change. Another one for $60 million. Now, we'll have to look and see if any of those are overlapping or if we add these up. But these are some of the numbers coming out. Goes on to say that Eric Trump has to pay $4 million in one case, Donald Trump Jr. $4 million in one of these cases, and Alan Weisselberg $1 million. So there's a lot there. We're going to parse through these numbers, but they are big. Incredible. We knew there was a big ask. It looks like they may be in the neighborhood of close to $300 million or more.
Yeah, Shannon, we are seeing this. I believe this is a Reuters report. We're all trying to sort of balance up these numbers here. But according to some of the reporting out there, the number is $354.9 million. And as you say, the damages are spread across a number of the Trump family members who are deeply involved in the business. Don Jr., Eric Trump, as you say, $4 million. Now, perhaps equally importantly, according to the early reporting that we're seeing here, the judge has banned Donald Trump and others from serving as an officer or director of any New York corporation or other legal entity in New York for 3 years, is the period here on this. Now, that wouldn't have a whole lot of impact on President Trump because he is running for president and hopes to be president during that time. But Eric Trump and Don Jr. and Eric, in a large way, are very instrumental.
Tommy, I'm going to talk about that where you say, can he appeal the case? This is probably the biggest question. I'm very proud of you for asking that question because there is a stipulation where the answer you're not going to like. So I'm going to give it to you. And it's what Fox News isn't talking about. Nobody's talking about. You can get it in the article, but I'll bring it up to you and tell you what it all means.
In the business here, and it would prevent them from serving as an officer or director of any New York corporation or other legal entity in New York for 2 years. So $355 million here in the judgment from Arthur Engoron against the former president Donald Trump.
So, listen, first reactions. Let's just get high level reaction first of all. I know there's people in here who love Trump. There's people in here who can do without Trump, and there's people here who know that he's the option. But I don't think anyone here hates Trump or doesn't see the value. What are our thoughts here?
I think this is all bullshit. Pardon my language. I'll start it off right. It's just
guns
dumb.
blazing right out of the gate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, why? No one got hurt. He paid off the loan. They didn't miss a loan payment. What is the point of this? The point is to bankrupt him so he can't run. And it's annoying. And it's all going to come around. It's all going to come around full circle. And all these Democrats and all these people that are doing this, it's going to bite them in the ass one day. And then they're going to be crying to mama and boo-hoo, woe is me, my life sucks. Well, bummer. I'm not going to feel sorry for any of them when it happens to them.
Yeah. Do you think is it because you're upset that these numbers are just absolutely just ridiculously stupid? Like you look at the O.J. Simpson trial, for example, wrongful death suit. That was one of the largest civil suits in U.S. history, $33 million some odd dollars. You can look at Enron. You can look at check writing scandals. We were talking about Marlboro and cigarette companies and some of these suits that come across. But the ratio to yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Like I was just going to ask, what was the fines for the Exxon Valdez when that spilled? Was nowhere
the EPA and everything else.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Well, the point is that with all of those things, you have a victim. Here, who's the victim? Who's the victim?
No one. And the loan's even paid off. And it's the thing that really pisses me off the most is the Attorney General or whoever, New York or whoever it is that brought the case
Letitia
up.
James.
Yes, her.
Letitia Hamias. I think her name is Letitia Hamias is how you say her name.
She ran on, I'm going to get Trump.
Yeah, we got the video.
It's 2018, illegitimate president. I'm going to get him. It's headhunting. They're not doing this for any other reason than to headhunt him. And the judge is the same way.
In some sort of political witch hunt, that I've got some personal vendetta against him.
Yes, you
do.
That
I campaigned against him. That is not true.
This illegitimate president who sits in the White House. That president, because he's not my president, he's an illegitimate president. His days are numbered. His days are numbered. We've got to get ready to mobilize, and we've got to get ready to Donald Trump is defeated. We will all rise up and resist this man. And ultimately, we'll bring him down. This illegitimate president, I'm going to give you the same level of respect that you gave to President Obama. And that is absolutely no respect at all. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. And the days of Donald Trump are numbered. Lock him up. Lock him up. What? Lock him up. What? Lock him up. What? Lock him up. What?
That is not true.
I gotta love.
Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
Go, Mikey.
I just love that all these politicians like, oh, I never said that. Like everything is recorded now. How do you think that someone's not going to go back and find that?
Yeah, or some no-name podcast is going to go ahead and find it. So it's not like I didn't do a video on this like over a year ago and showed what a conniving, horrible degenerate this woman is. Here's her press conference. We got some more comments on this.
We have a responsibility
listen to
to protect the integrity of the marketplace. And for years, Donald Trump engaged in deceptive business practices and tremendous fraud. Donald Trump falsely, knowingly inflated his net worth by billions of dollars to unjustly enrich himself, his family, and to cheat the system. Donald Trump may have authored the art of the deal, but he perfected the art of the steal. Today, justice has been served.
Oh, you're a poet. You're a poet.
Wow.
You didn't know it. Wow, you're really good. That you should be the new Tupac.
My one question for this: so if you guys are saying that he inflated all that stuff, and at some point he had to pay taxes, so are you going to return the money that you now say he inflated?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Well, that's a good thought.
That's a good point,
very
Mikey.
good point.
Mikey, that's almost going to be as good as the one I bring up and drop the grenade on this whole thing. That's pretty damn good. I love that. I'm going to steal that and put that in a meme, by the way.
Cool.
So here's
no matter
another
how
question.
rich.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let's just finish. This has got what we've heard enough of this
Powerful.
vamp. That's all she is. She's a vamp. She's a super tramp.
She took a page out
the
of
net
Maxine Waters'
value
book.
or the total worth of a person or their assets is now determined by the courts and not by the market, then what precedent does that set in terms of other entities who might go in front? Oh, this person inflated their net worth. Oh, so now we have judges that are telling us what something is worth. Is that right?
Right. Now, let me ask you a question. What if you went and you looked at a website posting that talks like the net worth of a person and how much they're of value? What if you use that on a bank loan? What if I go ahead and get a loan for the Don't Unfriend Me show and I take it off the overall value of the show and its estimated worth, which I don't need to go into, and I go to a bank and say, I'm going to have a loan. This is what it's worth. Can you loan me the money? And then that bank comes back and says, we disagree with your assessment. Then who's the victim? Nobody. I don't get the loan. If they give it to me, this is a lending practice. It is a negotiation between from borrower and lender. It has nothing to do with anything else. Unless there is a clear crime, there should be no oversight in that lending by the IRS, by the FEC, or anyone else. It's not coverable. So you have to ask or the FDIC. So you have to ask yourself the question, can they use this to not only politically, but using the criminal justice and civil justice system for punitive damage against people to punish them for anything they want? Can you punish Obama for his speeches and say, you're not worth $250,000 an hour? There's nothing that justifies that. Your value isn't worth that. So now we're going to give you a penalty of $300 million based upon you making $30 million that you took money from these companies. When these companies, it's an exchange of goods. Nobody's complaining.
Where
right.
These fines that he has to pay, who are they going to?
The state of New York.
Here's another thought. In 2008, the housing crash, the whole thing, Fannie Mae and whatever the other company was, I can't even remember. Freddie Mac, yeah.
Bernie Mac. He was in Oceans 12 and 13. Oh, Freddie Mac. Sorry. Freddie Mercury.
They did stupid loan practices and gave people loans that they shouldn't have, that they couldn't afford, and they did that. And there is millions of victims with these people.
Right.
losing their homes and going bankrupt and foreclosure. And if I'm not mistaken, those companies got bailed out.
Right.
So
is
why
this a
aren't
class
they
action?
being fined? Why
They
aren't
can start?
they having to pay this exuberant fine? Because there were victims in that. There's no victim in this.
So let's talk about the appeal, because people want to know about because that's really all we care about, right? Like, okay, fine. You can put any magic. You guys think men are women and women are men. You think unicorns is a gender. Of course, you got to pay $1 billion. You know, I mean, you can throw any number you want at it, and we're just going to laugh at you because this is a ridiculous number. If you guys are out of one side of your mouth are going to say that Mar-a-Lago isn't worth what it's worth, when Donald Trump says it's worth $1.3 billion. And you guys say it's worth $35 million when that is a complete crock. I've shown the property breakdown. I showed you the maps of this and all the properties there. Things that are 1/8 the size of Mar-a-Lago are worth twice as much as what they're saying. Now, Buckingham Palace is worth $1.5 billion. Okay, so people are like, well, geez, Buckingham Palace is worth this, and it's 800,000 square feet. And Mar-a-Lago, and I'm like, dude, Buckingham Palace doesn't allow people to rent out rooms at $5,000 a night. Right. It doesn't have a round of golf that is the cost of a small car. It is a money-making machine. It is completely different. It was a government-owned piece of property, and now it is a resort. And you don't look at its property value; you look at its nested value and its overall potential value based upon its revenue model. And so you can sit here and say it's only worth $35 million, which is a complete lie, but its earning potential over the next 10 years or the length of the loan is going to more than cover what he got for it. But see, this is the problem. They want to go and look at it and say, yes, he greased the wheels a little bit. We understand that. Banks don't give money to people unless they absolutely feel that loan is going to be paid back. This is a person who's financed 6 homes. 6 homes I've financed. I know how they work.
It's a little bit like.
Go ahead.
It's a little bit like when Hollywood goes to hire somebody and everyone gets bent out of shape because Michael Fassbender made $50 million on one movie, and then somebody else says they're not really worth it. We think that that's too high, and some actress or somebody will step in and say that person's not worth it. It's the same thing. It's an outside entity basically saying they're not worth it. It doesn't make sense because it doesn't follow the market value. Sorry, Matt, go ahead.
Well, no, don't be sorry. This is what we talked about. Truth Social just got approved for the merger, and that merger is going to be worth $4.5 billion. So
the merger for what? I missed that.
So he merged with another company and an investment company, and I guess the FEC said it was okay to do so. There were some things that were holding it up, and essentially this gives Truth Social the liquid capital that it needs to be successful. The overall merger is worth like $5 billion. This is obviously going to help Trump. See, Trump's not stupid, right? I mean, we can say a lot of things about him, but he hedges his bets. He knew this was coming. He understood this. But here's the problem. Can he appeal? No. And this is the issue. And let me tell you why. New York passed. This is what happens. During civil trials, people would have punishments put against them. Let's say it was $100,000. And they would go ahead and appeal. And then they would tie it up in appellate court. And then once it was turned down and the appeal was going to lose, they would file for bankruptcy. And then nobody would get their money. So now before you can appeal in the state of New York, you have to actually put up the full sum of the penalty. He has to put up $355 million in cash. So to appeal, yes. So to appeal E. Jean Carroll, the $83 million, he has to put up $83 million in cash in the state of New York. And to appeal this, he will have to put up $355 million. He has 30 days to appeal. He has to put the money up front. And the problem is Donald Trump just released during disclosure that his overall value of net worth is like $522 million cash on hand. Now, he's worth billions, but we all know that's the difference between liquid assets and physical assets. I'm worth $3 million, but that's my physical assets. You asked me to go ahead and rub $10,000 together, and I'm going to go ahead and sweat a little bit. But this is the thing. So in order for him to appeal, he's got to come up with that cash. Now, this is the problem. If he doesn't win, then that cash is gone.
Right.
It's gone. And now you're talking about you're going to have a business that's leveraged, a business which has used loans to get that cash on hand because he's not going to use his own cash. And if they call out on that, then you have to imagine what that looks like from a bank that might say, okay, we're going to secure this dollar amount, or an insurance company, we're going to secure this, but you lose the appeal. How much interest do you think that that's going to be? How many penalties do you think is going to be on that if he loses the appeal?
That is ridiculous.
This is insane. They know how much he's worth, and they asked exactly for what would bankrupt his ass.
Well, I mean, he's got to pay it anyway, so why not just appeal it? I mean,
because he doesn't have to pay it all at once, right? There's certain stipulations, but if he appeals, he does, because what he can do is during the appeal process, the appellate process, he can file for bankruptcy. He can move the money offshore. There's a lot of things he can do to make it complicated. Now, all of that stuff will be tracked and looked at, and the FBI will get involved. But the point is that he can go ahead and disrupt the overall monies and the penalties for years without paying. That's why you have to put the money up front. It's insane what they're doing to this guy.
This is every little thing. This is every little thing that they can do to keep him out of the next election. I was thinking about this a little bit earlier. I was like, anybody seen that last John Wick movie? Dude rolls to the bottom of the stairs. Spoiler alert. Dude rolls to the bottom of the stairs, and it's just, in order to keep him from that final fight, in order to keep him from getting to that final battle where he could win the hearts and the minds of the people around him. That's just the same thing. It's just, they're just stomping him down in any way they can, be it negative headlines, be it these lawsuits that are bullshit. It's everything they can do to keep him out of the next election. Everything.
So let's get into the nitty gritty on this, because this is where we learn and this is where we understand things. And I'll kind of try to put it in perspective so we can all learn something from this. So following Friday's decision after Donald Trump's civil fraud lawsuit, I'm going to try to blow this up if it'll let me. Hold on. I don't know why. Okay. $354 million plus interest. They're doing interest. They're back. Now here's the thing, is that
Interest
this is
of what?
Well, I'll tell you, this is what the judge did. This was supposed to be everything that was post 2016. And the rule of law, because the statute of limitation says that none of this can be previously from 2016. He went back and also added 2014 records and purchases and acquisitions and loans all the way back, because that's where the nested amount, the largest amount of money was actually done. Mm-hmm. And he hit him on stuff that he didn't have the legal right to do. So this is going to get overturned. But the point is that that's not the design. It's not designed to be just. This is designed to hurt him, to take his cash flow, and to do whatever you can to squeeze him and keep him out of New York doing business.
See, and
go ahead.
If this gets overturned, then is there a process that they can go to whoever the governing body is for, and I don't even know what it's called, for being judges of?
Well, yeah, they can get disbarred if there's malfeasance and these things were obviously shown with some sort of vitriol towards somebody, and he used the law for retributional purposes. Yeah, I mean, but the problem is that it doesn't matter. They only want to get to 2024 November. That's all they've got to do. They just got to hold him from getting in, and then everything else is fine. Do you think Erdogan or Erdogan or whatever the hell his name is? He's not Erdogan. He's not Turkey. What the hell is this guy's name? Erdogan, whatever. Egg timer. This guy. Do you think he cares? He's older than dirt. I think he was on the original MASH. He looks like, so he's going to retire. So if he gets forced out from being a judge, do you think he cares? He took down Donald Trump. The guy's going to be on the lecture circuit. He's going to go get a job at Oxford or Harvard as a professor. Right. He's going to make $275,000 a year, and he's not going to give a crap. Why would he?
See, and that's where I would hope that Trump would be able to sue him and take every friggin' penny he's going to make. Yeah.
Well, that's the problem, is that federal judges are protected from being sued individually because they are the state. So federal judges and state judges, I don't remember the protection clause, but those judges are protected from civil liability for that reason. Otherwise, nobody would want to be a judge. So he would have to sue the state, not the judge personally. The judge is protected. But this is it. When a jury first awarded Carroll $5 million in damages, Trump opted to cover the bill by moving cash into an escrow. Last year, when Trump was deposited in the civil fraud case, the former president claimed his company had more than $400 million cash. We have, I believe, 400 plus and going up very substantially each month. His statement on his 2021 financial condition showed 293 million, which explains why she asked for 300 million, almost to the nose. However, the New York Attorney General alleges that the number was falsely inflated, including 93.1 million, which Trump should have not listed as cash equivalent. Trump and Vornado Realty Industry, the former president's partner in San Francisco, received $617 million from a $1.2 billion bond sale. In the following year, the hotel for $139 million, $126 million. I mean, the guy's got a ton. But even with hundreds of millions in cash and equivalents, Trump is more likely to cover his legal obligations using what's called a supersedes bond. CEDAS, supersedes bond, secured using some of his other assets, including, according to Stuart Levine, the Baltimore business attorney. And that's what I was telling you. Insured leverage from his assets. Properties and everything else will be put up. But the point is that he still has to get these loans in order to do this. And when you're running for presidential election, you are putting money out of your own pocket into this election. But he also has his travel. He also has his flights. Yep. And he has all of these things. And to run a presidential campaign, he did it in 2016 for about $460 million. Hillary Clinton spent $2.1 billion. In 2020, Trump up to about $750 million, and Joe Biden spent actually less than Hillary at 1.8, 1.9. And the reason why is because of COVID. This year, it's expected the Democrat Party is going to be spending shy of $3 billion on this election, and Trump is going to have to hit the $1 billion mark in order to compete. This is an incredible amount of money. In the whole thing about this, if anyone doesn't like Trump, and I'm talking to you, Leroy, and I know you don't love the guy.
I don't.
You like his policy, but you don't like him. At this point, it doesn't matter, right?
No.
It's the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and I am now so in his corner to beat these bastards, because if he doesn't win, it's not that America is going to fall, United States. It's that they are going to have unfettered access to ensure that a Republican never wins. This will be a roadmap for every state election, every city election, is to go after your opponent politically through the judicial system. And this is what will happen. And it doesn't matter in the red states because the people vote, but not necessarily the same in the inner city and the suburbs of these cities. They have to push that to get out to vote. And a lot of times Democrats lose these very narrow seats because they can't activate their people. Now, they don't have to activate anybody. They just go ahead and bankrupt you before you even get across the finish line. It's terrifying.
Question is he appeals it, and if he wins, how long is it going to take for him to get back his money?
Oh,
I mean, it takes you get a refund from a store. It takes 7 to 10 business days, which usually ends up being like 3 weeks. So how long does it take?
That wouldn't matter. What would happen is that there would be the immediate lien against his funds would be lifted based upon the loan or insurance company who lends him that money in that supersedes bond. So what would happen is that he would get a writ from the state treasury who is holding those funds, releasing the lien against his properties or wherever the loan was for, and then it's based upon the state treasury and the company that went ahead and leveraged him to begin with. So he would be free. It just means that the money is no longer there. Any cash that he gave or anything else ultimately would be rewarded in a penalty that would be required to be paid back by the state of New York. But that's where that money can last for a long time. I mean, they can hold on to it as long as they want, because then they're gonna go ahead and appeal the decision. They're gonna go ahead. So this money can be tied up for a decade.
To make things a little clearer for what Matt was talking about when he said, Leroy, you don't like him. You're right. I don't like him. Here's the thing. I am able to distinguish between the person and the policy. And there's nothing about Trump in any way, shape, or form where I would like to, I don't know, at a personal level, he just seems very, very creepy to me. And that's just a personal thing. That being said, I want the guy to win. I want him to succeed. And I love his policies. His policies are what would make me vote for someone. And that's the distinction that I'm able to make.
Leroy, are you trying to say in a polite way he's got one of those faces you want to punch, but you would still?
Oh my God, yes, yes, absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to love Trump, but at this point, how can you not stand up and say
exactly?
If this okay, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. This is with 100% no equivocation. I'm going to say this with a straight face. If they were doing this to Biden, I would be fighting and defending Joe Biden until the cows come home.
Absolutely.
The exact same way, because this is different. This isn't criminal. This is civil. This is a made up bullshit charge. If it's criminal, I'm not going to like if they would come after him and just charge him and fricking go after him criminally. Seriously. These indictments are great. You can indict a frickin' tuna fish sandwich. You can impeach a tuna fish sandwich. Any of this stuff, it's accusational. It's prosecutorial evidence, and there's no defense in this process. There's no defense attorneys allowed. They're allowed to listen to it, and they can make a statement. But there are no combative witnesses. There are no motions to dismiss. None of that happens. It's essentially the San Francisco 49ers going out on the field. Mm-hmm. And they're ready to go ahead, and they've got to score a touchdown, and there is no defense.
They may not make it. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, we saw what happened. But you get my point. It's like scoring an empty net goal. It's not that hard. All right, we got a couple questions. Let's get to it. Angie says, "Can Laura Trump run the business?" Well, it's not.
She named or which kids were actually named?
Well, the kids are fine, but it's not. It's the Trump Incorporation. It's the corporation of Donald Trump that for 3 years can't run business with Donald Trump involved or whatever. So the problem is really here is that the sons are going to take it in the shorts more than Donald Trump. Yeah. And the reason why is because they're out of jobs now.
Yeah. Whatever they named Don Jr. and Eric, but they didn't name Ivanka, and they didn't name Tiffany.
Well, Ivanka's not touching it. Here's the thing: is that they are trying to erase Donald Trump from New York. Mm-hmm. All of his real estate properties, all of his housing properties, they've removed all the Trump insignias off of it. The East Side, all of that is being taken off. People are revolting against him. And the brand of Trump in New York is essentially being completely just throttled. The problem with that is that that's where most of his holdings are. And a lot of his businesses are in Manhattan, and they are saying you can't work in Manhattan. I anticipate this to be appealed, and he'll win. I truly believe he will win. There's no plaintiff. The state is not a victim. The banks are not a victim, and the things that they're saying are essentially not law breaking. They're saying we don't like it. We don't like that he valued his company. Well, it's not against the law because there were property assessments done. Inspectors came out. Bank people who are advisors and analysts came out and analyzed these properties. It's not like these people were suckered. It's like filling out an application. Okay, you ever applied for a credit card, Leroy? Over the phone?
Yeah.
They say, what's your annual household income? And you're like, $150,000. No, it's 126, and they're going to sue you for $10 million. And you're like, what happened? Every one of us have done that. Have you ever applied for a loan with a roofing company or possibly getting windows or blinds put in your house? And they come over there and they go, hey, what's the estimated value of your home? And you're like, oh, well, I saw it on Zillow for $750,000. Oh, well, actually, it's the opposite on Market Recap for $625, which is a low end. We're going to sue you now for $10 million. So he did.
It's funny that you mentioned that too. It's funny that you mentioned that too, because all of those private companies that would have come out, all of those inspectors, those state inspectors that would have come out to help give some form of value to the property. If you think about it, that's like the state is suing him because some state representatives came out and gave him maybe some inflated values. Like this, the state is not clean of this. You know what I mean?
Well, let me give you what they're accusing him of. I mean, will that help? Absolutely. If I can just break it down for everybody. Okay. All right. So let me just break it down for you. Hold on. Trying to remember where I saw that. I had a breakdown of it that was pretty good. Oh, I know where it was. Hold on. I'll have it in 2 seconds. Olivia Hayden's getting really good on that.
She is.
On that piano. I'm listening to her play, and it's ridiculous. All right, so here's what they're saying. Okay, so I'm going to read it to you. The Trump org said Mar-a-Lago should be valued between 1 to 1.5 billion. Okay, 1 to 1.5. That's a $500 million discrepancy. So why don't we just go ahead and take it on the low side? Like let's tie goes to runner. Let's say 1 billion. Buckingham Palace is worth 1.3. Buckingham Palace 830 square feet. And I've already blown this away. Mar-a-Lago is 62,500 square feet. Well, okay, let me give you an example. I've got property that's a mile in overall. It's 20 acres in Watts.
Right.
And then I have got 20 acres in Upper Manhattan. Yeah. So one of them is going to be $7,000, and they actually give you a free freaking goat and a set of steak knives. And the other place is going to be $500 million.
I'll take the steak knives.
Right. I'll take the steak knives and the goat. So first of all, who gives a crap about England? We fought a revolution, so we never have to listen to those pricks again. But the point, it's a false equivalency. It's a false equivalency. Buckingham Palace is not a resort. Okay, it doesn't make profit. That's not, well, except for the ones that they steal from their people with outrageous taxes. All right, incorrectly represented the size of his triplex apartment and overvaluing it significantly. Once again, you don't like that.
Mm-hmm. And again,
the bank doesn't have to give them the loan.
Yes. Right.
If they don't think that they're going to get their money, they're not going to loan somebody money.
Right.
Because they're looking at it, okay, if this person defaults on the loan.
Yeah.
If this person defaults on the loan and we have to foreclose, we want to make sure we're going to be able to recoup our money when we resell that property.
Right.
They're not going to give them the loan if they don't think it's worth it.
That's the point.
What's the point with this?
Well, let's listen to the rest. He claimed control. Oh, let me just read these real quick. Claimed control. No, Leroy, you go, and then I'll read them. Go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking to myself, this is almost like like me saying that, hey, I've got a 1990 Monte Carlo and I'm selling it, but it's for sale for $100,000, right? And either somebody's going to buy it or they're not going to buy it. And it doesn't matter, because if somebody does buy it, is the state going to come in then and then say, well, we're going to sue you now?
Right.
Like he set the market value for that. Go ahead, sorry.
Let me ask you this. What happens when somebody underappreciates their property in order to sell it for a tax write-off and a loss?
Oh, good point.
Because you know what? I do that every year. And so do you. And so does every other person. Because your property value comes in from the city and state and you fight it and you undervalue your property and you write off the rest as a tax loss. All of us do that because that's what our accountants do. So you know what? They should sue everybody. Everyone in America does this. This is such bullshit. And I'm sorry to use foul language. I'm sick of this.
I started it. Sorry.
You did start it, Liv. You're such a naughty mouth. Claimed control over certain assets like the Vornado partnership interest as cash when there was no such control. Once again, you don't like it. What he claimed it. He wrote down his assets like you asked him to do to the best of his ability. It's not to your liking. So you know what you do? You have a motion to strike that from the record and you make a correction. And you have the judge warn him and say, if you continue to do this, I'm going to hold you in contempt of court. Right. That's it. It's over. But no, this is what they do. They asked him for a slew and litany of hundreds of thousands of documents and papers. They collected this in a short time frame. Remember, they hurried the case forward when he's like, I don't have time to prepare for this. Then mistakes were made and you hold him accountable for it. When he told you that they couldn't make this case and make the defense properly in the short turnaround of 8 months. Dude, I had a CPS case that took me 4.5 months to prepare for.
Jesus.
Give me a break. Falsely represented the number of homes that could be built on a property in Aberdeen to be much higher than permitted, i.e. claiming permission to build 2,035 private residences when only 500 were permitted.
Well, I can claim whatever I want.
Did he have an appeal process going on with the board? Did he submit titles of enclosure to say, I believe we can build these instead? Well, you're only permitted 500. Fine. But do you believe that once we appeal this, that we have the ability to? You don't know where it's at. See, these are things, this is nuance. You don't have context. Let's listen to the rest. The valuation of 40 Wall Street was falsely inflated, with projected net operating incomes far exceeding realistic figures, such as representing a 26.2 million net operating income that was never achieved. I make revenue models all the time for companies. I predict what I'm going to do. And if I don't do it, it doesn't mean I get to go to jail and pay a penalty. Let me ask you a question. Do you know how many times Apple hasn't missed its frickin' targets that it sold stock for the previous quarter? You know how many billions of dollars they've sold in stock based upon predictions of revenue forecasts, not hit it, and lost people money? What do we do? Do we go ahead and close Apple down? Do we hit them for $5 trillion in penalties? Because that's what they just did to Trump. Give me a break.
My question is, why is there no safeguards in any of this? We're like, oh, well, I don't like it. Like, okay, show me a precedent or a law that they're actually breaking to allow this to get to where it's at.
That's the thing. They had to change the laws. They had to change the laws. They dropped the criminal side of this. Nobody took it up. Bragg didn't take it up. This was all swept under the rug, just like the E. Jean Carroll thing, because nobody wanted to touch it because it was completely erroneous. The only reason they're doing this is because they don't have to have the burden of proof in a civil trial. All they got to do is point a finger. He didn't even have a jury. The judge decided all of this. My God, it's a magistrate. It's a powdered wig court. This is like what we left and fought a revolution for. When the hell did we give individual judges complete discretion and decision-making on an entire business's future with personal penalties and asset forfeiture? Where is a full frickin' jury on this?
A long time ago, Donald Trump said something to the tune of that the government was really after you. It's just that he was standing in the way.
Right.
Now, any judge that would be powerful enough to strip nearly $400 million from a former president just because is certainly a judge that would be strong enough to collectively, all four of the people that are on this panel right now, not only bankrupt us, but put us away forever on zero legal grounds. That is what Matt is talking about. Anything that can be done to Trump can be done to any other person in America, and that's the problem.
Yes. Here's the thing. Ian O'Reilly says his lawyers checked a no jury box. I want to be clear on this. They also put in a motion to remove it from New York City at the same time. They have to do that. If you put and select jury, your motion to appeal to relocate that trial based upon not having a fair jury and sequester, or not sequester, it's not sequester is keeping jurors in seclusion. Change of venue. So for him to go ahead and file a change of venue, he can't put down a jury trial because the whole argument from them was that they could not find a fair trial in Manhattan based upon the overall opinion, and 70% of it votes liberal. So I understand that. But even if he did that, it's kind of a smart move when you think about it from an appeal standpoint, because he can say that it was personal. It was a vendetta, that this was the judge going after him. So at that point, do you really think that they should work in good conscience with these people who are on a witch hunt? Do you think they should actually buy into this? Or should they do whatever they can to force an appeal and say, put it on the judge's shoulders? Now, look what he did. We told you he was going to do this. This is why we didn't choose a jury. So things are done in legal ease because it's at the behest of your legal counsel, that they understood what this guy was going to do, that this was completely just a circus.
Which appeals court is it going to go to?
It's going to go to it's going to go to the next level, which would be district. It would go to the state court of appeals and then go to district. And then it would go to the Supreme Court if it absolutely reaches that level. But I can't imagine a civil case the Supreme Court would even hear this.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But because it's a sitting president, well, it was a former sitting president, they very well may. They need to establish, this is the thing. The Supreme Court very well may kick this back to the Senate and Congress and say, you guys need to establish amendments that really describe what a president is held accountable for and what he's not. Because it's always been this, that the president of the United States can go out and shoot somebody. But you cannot criminally charge him unless you impeach him and bring up impeachment proceedings and then vote on that and then criminally charge him through the Senate. That's the only way you can remove a president. But when he gets out after, the decisions that he made inside the office were pretty much carte blanche untouchable. Was that he's not the man, he's not responsible. He made those decisions based in the office. This is why they didn't go after Reagan. This is why they didn't go after Nixon. This is why they didn't go after George Bush for war crimes in Iraq, which they should have. So they didn't go after Obama for literally spying on millions of Americans through the NSA and using illegal wiretaps and programs, and also killing Americans, 246 overseas, who by drone strikes, who were yes, they were considered terrorists, but they were still American citizens and they didn't get due process. Do you understand the precedents? All of these liberals have no idea what they're doing, because every Republican is what they're going to do, just like with the impeachment and the investigations on Biden right now. They told them. And if you think Biden isn't going to be impeached on day one in 2025, the moment he swears in, you're insane. They are waiting for that moment. If they lose this election, it will be nonstop 4 years of impeachment, legalese, going after his family, going after everybody, wife, child, grandchildren, businesses. They are going to go after Obama, and they're going to go and bring charges up against him for those things I just mentioned.
Do you think the Republicans, if it got to that point, do they have enough cojones to actually do that? Or are they just going to be puppets and just sit there and take it?
But here's the thing. It's not them that have to do it. A Judicial Watch can do it. Project Veritas can do this stuff. With the Freedom of Information Act, you have the right to sue anyone you want in the United States. And now that you've opened up the president for free reign, this is going to get so bad. It's really going to get ugly. So
the Democrats think they're untouchable and that no one's going to ever do this to them. So that's what I think.
Listen, have you guys look at the Supreme Court justices? They did this to Alfred. It wasn't Menza. He was a federal court judge that Reagan put through. He was Republican. They didn't want the Hispanics. They were trying to pull the illegals on the border. They didn't allow him to come in. He was obviously on the bench to become SCOTUS, and he was the first Hispanic judge. Joe Biden shot him down. So did the Democrats, and they completely filibustered him. They put him on the back burner. And then they did it to Clarence Thomas. They have been systematically character assassinating judges and SCOTUSes against the Republicans for 26 years. I can show you all of them that they did this for. And finally, when it came to Gorsuch and it came to Garland, they said, you know what? No, we're going to play your game. We're sitting on this son of a bitch, and we can't do it because it's a presidential election year. So they vetoed Garland and said no and held. Well, then Gorsuch, I think it was Gorsuch, yeah? Yeah, Gorsuch came in. He was replaced. Then they pushed Amy Coney Barrett and Brett Kavanaugh during an election year and said, screw you guys, right back at you. And you know what they said? Remember what Schumer said? He got up, he sat on the dais, and he said, there will be retribution. You've thrown the rules in the playbook out.
Yep.
You're going to be, we're paying you back. And they've been doing it ever since. So what happens is they break the rules. And if you retaliate in any way, shape, or form, they come after you full steam. So if you think that the Republicans aren't going to go ahead and play this same game because of people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz, they will do this because they're just as petty as the left.
That's fair. So
sorry,
basically,
guys.
The Office sitcom is now just going to be the Senate and the House.
Right. It's really what it is. I mean, this is like a TV show. This is all being played out. There's no account. And the thing is in the end, nobody will pay. I'm going to say this right now. With everything in my heart and soul, and I know I'm talking a lot in this segment. I'm sorry. I'm fired up. If Donald Trump dropped out of the race tomorrow, do you think any of this would continue?
No, it would all stop.
No.
It just
no,
drop.
Of course not.
Same thing with Hillary. Once Hillary was done, they left her alone.
Yep.
And they don't care about Biden. They don't want to see Trump in jail because they know what that means for them. They don't want Hillary in jail because Republicans know what it means for them. Yes, they want to martyr him. They want to bring him down to a point where, the things that we've seen happen with January 6th. Do you think that the Democrats didn't go home that night and pour a glass of whiskey and shake a little bit and go, whew, but damn it, I'm so glad that happened? because now we can go ahead and destroy him for the rest of his time before he runs for president. If you're telling me that the Democrats didn't high five over January 6th, yeah, I bet they were a little nervous. I would be too. But you're telling me right afterwards they were like, that's not the greatest thing, the gift that the Republicans ever gave us. And that's why I have denounced it since day one, that it was the dumbest thing we could have ever done. The stupidest thing we dismissed all the BLM riots because of that one day. And you're like, well, Matt, it's not the same. Stop it. It's the court of public opinion. It's not about what I think. It's about what the Democrats are going to say. It's the optics of it. Our insurrection, January 6th, was worse than all the BLM riots combined. Why? Because they control the fucking narrative, people.
Yep.
Sorry for the language. Fired up.
No, it's absolutely true. You know, and it's okay to be passionate about a subject, especially when it's something like this. Every time we come on here, every Monday, every Friday, when we start talking, we always start talking about like the hypocrisy that exists between the left and the right. Generally speaking, you know, Republicans mostly want the same rules to apply to everyone.
Yeah.
As a standard. That's why they call it a standard. And when it's not applied, or when it's applied unevenly, when it's applied in some way to your political opponent, right? And you tip that balance a little bit, you know, that's the stuff that's really slimy. That's the stuff that's un-American.
Here's what I'm going to say about this, then we'll move on. Unless anyone else has anything. In the end, it doesn't really matter. Okay. In the end, it doesn't really matter. Because this isn't our game. This is like you worrying about a football game. We're not the players. They are. And this is the big boy leagues. And Donald Trump knows how to play in this game. And he will continue to play this game. This isn't for us. None of us are going to be impacted by this outside of who's going to be the next president. And really, you can look at the ebb and flow of the economics and the overall influence of a president. It all balances out in the end. Sometimes you pay more, sometimes you pay a little bit less, but overall the effect to you is really from the state, local, city government. And that's where you can make an impact. That's what you have to worry about. Donald Trump's going to be fine. Donald Trump is too damn arrogant not to win. Like, this guy will continue to just be like, listen, I will melt the whole frickin' world if you don't stop. But the thing that I'm worried about is at some point people will take this so seriously that they feel that Donald Trump needs your help. And let me tell you something, he doesn't need you. Yeah. There is nothing you can do for him. Now, if military starts coming door to door and tearing down American flags, that's a completely different conversation. But until that day happens, Donald Trump does not need your help.
Because that is just going to make it worse, and it's going to validate everything that the Democrats are doing.
Yeah.
So, yes, please do that.
All right, folks. Good, healthy conversation. Go ahead.
I would absolutely refuse. A lot of folks on here know that, you know, in some way I'm still affiliated, and that's one of those things I would refuse to do. We're sworn to uphold the Constitution, not a party.
That's right. He doesn't need our help. Let him do it. Now, if you want to give him money, that's fine. I'm not going to give him anything. I'm not going to give him money. I don't give anyone money. I'm going to give Steve Garvey money this year. I gave Brandon Michon money in 2022 and 2020. I gave money to Eli Crane. I pick one candidate a year to give money to. It's not going to be Donald Trump. Steve Garvey's getting my money, and I'm going to get him on my damn show. I want to talk to the first baseman for the Los Angeles Dodgers that I grew up watching. I'm excited for this guy. He has presidential promise. Have you seen Steve Garvey?
No, where's he running?
I'll show you. Let me just do this quick commercial, and then we'll segue into that real quick. All right, everybody. If you got to go take a pee break, now's the time. You got a minute and 30 seconds. Hey, what's going on, Donut for Me Nation? Matthew Spear from the Donut for Me podcast. It's interesting. I've had these books for, 3 years now, and I've got 3 independent books of the Declaration, the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution of the United States that I inherited from my mother, leather-bound, beautiful, and they're older books, 1935, 1937, something to that effect. I'll show them on the show, but people see me reference these nightly on the show, and the interesting thing is I've never really put 2 and 2 together. We have a website, and someone asked last night, hey, how the heck do I get those books? Where do I get those books? And it dawned on me that I should provide these. So they are now on sale. They're beautiful books. They're leatherette books. They're hardback, which is nice. They don't have a dust cover or anything. I've used these, like I said, ad nauseum, and they hold up and they stand the test of time. They've got pictures of the framers, founders, inside the books. They make references with different colors to kind of explain things in a little bit of a simpler way or give some context. But these books, word for word, are the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and the Declaration of Independence. They are absolutely stunning. You get each book individually for $15.99 over at thedumbshow.com. We also have a bundle over there where you can save $5 on all three for $44.99. And last but not least, the pictures you've just been looking at and the video is the Documents of Freedom, custom made by PFC Flags, comes in an amazing, beautiful, decorative box for $64.99. Stop by thedumbshow.com and take a look. They're available right now. Hey, what's going on, Donut Framing Nation, Matt? Go ahead and do a quick video here, and I've been trying to get him on, and I really haven't reached out as hard as I can, but I do want him on. I just want you guys to watch. This is Steve Garvey, and he's got a look. He looks presidential, and he's got this attitude.
Like, as soon as I saw him, like, he looks like an older Youngkin.
Yeah, he does. And he was first baseman for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He played for the Padres. I got to meet him when I was a kid. Steve Sachs, Ron Say. I was a huge Dodgers fan. I mean, I was at Dodgers Field 3 times a week. We would drive up from Ventura 45 minutes, and we would go to the Dodgers games. I mean, we saw the Oakland A's World Series. I saw Kirk Gibson hit his run. I mean, we were huge fans. I saw Fernando pitch his perfect game. So we're big Los Angeles Dodger fans, and I hate the Dodgers now because they're a pile of shit. But I'm an Astros guy. But anyway, I want you guys to watch this. I got to get him on. Here it is. Maybe.
Deep right field, way back, cutter going back to the wall. It's gone. Home run Garvey, and there will be tomorrow.
Over 50 years ago, I came to California for the first time. September 1st of 1969, the Dodgers called me up and my dreams came true.
I didn't know they had black and white.
Over the next 20 years, I played for the Dodgers and the San Diego Padres. I played in front of millions of fans. I never played for Democrats or Republicans or independents. I played for all of you. Now I'm running for the U.S. Senate in California, a state that I believe at one time was the heartbeat of America, and now is just a murmur. It's going to be a common sense campaign. It's going to be difficult, but we can do this together, you and I. It's time to get off the bench. It's time to put the uniform on. It's time to get back in the game. Join Team Garvey at stevegarvey.com.
I got goosebumps.
Which party is he running under?
He's Republican.
Is there any chance that he could win
against Schiff? Well, they did the debate poll, and he won 64% of the overall win of the debate. They gave him a 64% win ratio.
He's got the popularity of being a baseball player.
Yeah, this is huge.
Dodgers.
Steve Garvey is like, he's probably top 10 most recognizable athletes in California. Like, it's, you know, you got LeBron, of course. You got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You got Magic Johnson. You've got...
so would the equivalent being like this would be Derek Jeter trying to run for New York?
No, not that good.
Not that
Steve
good?
Garvey wasn't that. But in his time, he was one of the top first basemen in the league. It would be like Todd Helton running for the Colorado Rockies. I mean, let's just put it this way. S-tier type baseball player, right? You've got like Roger Clemens. You've got Randy Johnson. You got, you know, Vladimir Guerrero. You've got Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, Mickey Mantle, Jackie Robinson. That's S tier, okay? And then you've got the guys that are there who you still know, like Mookie Betts or someone like George Springer or Justin Verlander as a pitcher. Verlander's S tier, but anyway, he's right there. He's alpha tier. He's right there. He's like a better way to describe it. Team 6 is the best athletes. He's a team any other number.
Gotcha. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So Steve Garvey was a very well known guy, and it was like him and Ron Say were two of the big ones. And Ron Say's nickname was the Penguin because he would kind of waddle to the base, But he looked like the brawny man. Now, anybody want to guess what Steve Garvey's nickname was?
Gravy.
That's not bad. Gravy. No, it was Mr. Clean. So
was he bald back then?
No, they meant about his personality is that he didn't drink, he didn't smoke, he never had any bad reputations, he didn't philander. He was just a clean guy. He's a Boy Scout, and that is something that we need. Does he have a chance? Maybe. But we don't know. But it doesn't matter.
He's going against Schiff. People might be sick of Schiff. We hope.
Schiff was censured and lied to 332 million Americans, saying that he had evidence that Donald Trump colluded with Russia, and he didn't. That, to me, if it holds any credibility and California wants to get back to a place of honor and respect, they better go after Schiff, and they better hit him. And if I was the Republicans, I'd put every single dollar I could in this, because you got to flip seats in California. Mm-hmm. You have got to take away that stronghold. They're working on Texas, and they're winning. People have fled California. A lot of the liberals have moved out of California. A lot of the conservatives can't afford to do it. So I'm going to try to get Steve Garvey on. I want to have a conversation with him like I had with Michonne and had with Eli. And I really want you to see this guy, because he was a hero of mine when I was younger. I'm not kidding. This guy was a hero of mine. So I'm really excited to talk about him. All right.
I have a question that's completely off topic.
Yes, ma'am.
But, okay, being an election year, I thought gas prices were supposed to go down. My question is, in the past week, it's gone up 50 cents.
Yeah. So there's a reason why. Gas prices usually go down in the winter. That's fairly common everywhere. But also, when more people go out because the weather has been good and the cold fronts have kind of stopped and it got hot, gas stations will increase their prices because their demand is higher than their supply. So you will see fluctuation in gas prices. With this cold front that's coming through again, it'll also drive gas prices down, because people will stay home and gas stations want to drive people to the pumps. But it's not necessarily in an election year, because that's not necessarily the truth. What happens is elections happen in November and gas prices always go down in the winter, and that's what people associate it with, is elections, without actually looking at the data.
Gotcha. Because I filled up 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago, and it was $3.29 a gallon, when the last time I filled up, I think it was $2.79 a gallon.
Yeah, it's the weather.
When I went past the pump today, I didn't fill up, but it was $3.39. So it already went up 10 cents from like 2 days ago.
Wait for the snow to happen tonight and go fill up tomorrow morning, and how cold it's going to be. You should see the gas prices drop within the next day or two, and go fill up then. That's what you'll see. And if I'm wrong, you can come back and tell me.
Right now, what we're seeing are just kind of natural market fluctuations, nothing that's artificial. I think as we do approach election time, there are probably been scores of studies and doctors and economists who have been involved in determining, oh, well, the American public has a 6-week window, or they forget things after 8 weeks. And that's generally when you'll see some level of pressure applied to gas companies to bring that price down, because, some people want to.
Hopefully goes down in like 2 weeks, because usually I don't have fill up but every 2 weeks.
The colder it gets, the more it drives the price down. That's just the way it works. The winter always drives. And honestly, gas efficiency, more people go to the pump, surprisingly enough. During winter, a lot of people, there's less burn off. Engines don't get as hot. People drive it for a shorter period of time. There's been studies on this. I did a show on this. It's always funny. I need to be able to catalog my shows, because I did it. I just pull this up and be like, here you go, watch this. Here's the answer to your question. Okay, folks, I'm out of here. All right, let's get to this. We were probably going to get another one in. I love this show. This is the way that needs to be done. Everyone's got to kind of pitch in and help out. Let's see. Next one is going to be climate activists are legit insane.
That's true.
So,
I mean, they're totally rational people. Yeah. Liberal arts degrees get you far.
Yeah.
So it's
amazing. It's bad. These people need to stop. How's Twitter going tonight, Mom? Is it doing good?
No one's on.
Well,
if they are, they're not talking.
Okay, well, Twitter people, seriously. I know we got a big boost on Rumble, which is good. We gained a ton of followers from that Deanna interview. So to those people who are watching, good to see you. Let's go ahead and watch this video. This is something that we ran across when Mike and I were looking for topics, and I'm like, oh, yeah, we got to do this one. Is this person, pardon the language, is a very upset person. 21 Democrat climate change activists were arrested, and they were right out front of Biden's headquarters. So the younger generation, everyone's saying, oh, well, the younger generation is going to vote for Biden. They're turning against Biden at a rapid clip. They didn't get their free college. Their whiteness hurts them. They don't feel good about where we are from, that they may have to fight wars that they don't want to fight. And their lack of options are putting them in a position that a lot of us had to face out of college and out of leaving our parents' home, is that we don't have a pot to piss in, and we got to go find a way to make that happen. And it's called growing up. So instead of being mad at them, at themselves or their parents to lying to them, or just in the general disposition where you just drink a lot, you smoke some cigarettes, and you get back to work and suck it up like we all did, these kids want to burn the whole world down. So here's this video.
Right.
And I apologize for the language.
My home is under attack. Wildfire, storms, drought, hurricanes. The climate crisis is here, and Biden has the power to do something about it. All we're asking is that he use the tools at his disposal. I'm putting my life on the line, my body on the line, and all we're asking is that he declare a climate emergency.
A hero.
Stand with us and fight for a livable future, and that he make good on his campaign promises. He promised to end offshore drilling. He promised to ban.
Give us free college.
New oil, gas, and coal plants on public land, and he has failed to do that. This is his legacy. This is Joe Biden's legacy.
This is what I love. He said he's putting his life on the line and his body on the line.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Please
Mike,
explain how you were doing
I don't
that.
think you're the guy to talk about this. Can we get somebody else who's more qualified?
Yeah,
Go ahead, Mike.
I do not know what I'm talking about for this. I read it in a magazine once. What do you mean that you're putting your body on the line? And what tools does Biden have to change the weather, to stop hurricanes? I want to see what this magical little weather machine is. So that way it's like, hey, I don't feel like going to work today. Hey, can I get 8 inches of snow just on demand during July? Because apparently that's what Biden has, and he can do all this amazing stuff.
It's little pricks like that don't understand that, like, when you like, you want to know how well
Get
it's
off
going.
my lawn.
Look at the laws in California, right? They had proposed and passed a bill that suggested that no internal combustion engines will be sold new in the state of California after like 2025, maybe it was 2030. Like,
I think it's 2032.
That's like, how are people going to get around? You think the electrical grid is really going to stand up to that? Look what happened in Texas after some cold weather. Like, people like this do not care whether or not you're able to make a living or not. They do not care. They don't care about transportation. They don't care how the coal gets to the power plants or anything like that. They just want everything to come to sudden and complete halt.
Well, you saw those little pricks that poured the red paint on the Constitution. Yeah, I mean, listen, this goes back to Trump. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has to do with that Donald Trump is rich and he's a billionaire, and they hate him. Yep. They hate him for his success. They hate me for my success. I get trolled all the time. You know what people say? Your show's dumb. Tell me why it's dumb.
Well, the name of it is dumb.
The name of it is dumb. So there you go. You hit the nail on the head.
But and they don't even understand what it means. It's actually, listen, self-deprecation it stops other people from being able to hit you on things, right? So if you call it the dumb show, it is a dumb show. This Fox is a dumb show. CNN's a dumb show. It's all dumb. But that's not the point. The point is you can actually learn something from watching this show. So the acronym DUMB, yes, it means don't unfriend me, but it's kind of like it's a play on words. And it doesn't mean that it's the dumb show. It means that it's probably a fairly smart show because we don't buy into this crap. I don't hate Donald Trump because he's a billionaire, just like I don't hate poor people. I don't hate you because you choose to be gay or lesbian or transgender, whatever. I don't like you because you're an idiot.
Right.
I don't like you because you're stupid.
Which seems like most college kids now.
Right.
And I just thought of this once you guys were talking is, again, I didn't have much faith in our education system as it currently is. If we continue to get more activists like this, it's just continuing to go further and further down of like, I really hope trade schools, people start flipping that way so we can actually get some people who are educated in something other than being a victim and an activist?
I think it's the generation of these kids, and so I've been out of the workforce for quite a while since I quit working, and I was pretty young when I quit. So going back to the workforce right now, half the people I work with are in their young 20s, early 20s, and some of them are amazing, but there's a handful that I'm like, I can't believe they're still working here. Their ethics and their thought process and how it's all me. You know, there's no anything.
Honey, I don't mean to interrupt because this is a wonderful monologue.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd your pussy go?
Oh, Jesus.
It's upstairs in the bedroom waiting for you.
Well, I just saw her on your lap. Where did she get?
She's over here now. I see her.
Oh,
Yeah, that
hey,
thing-
don't touch,
yeah, that thing was
don't touch
furry.
my pussy, Mike. That's my pussy.
She's just not. She's giving me an evil eye right now. It's like she's burning through my.
You want to know why? Because you're sitting in her chair.
She's an awful
She
hair.
sits in that. She sits in that chair.
Hey,
when
don't
you're
let
not
her
here.
jump on you. She's a hairy pussy, and we don't want to get it all over you. So anyway, go ahead, Liv.
Oh my gosh, jeez. We know where your mind's at.
Hey, Mike, stop grabbing the cat by the pussy. That's what Donald Trump does. Knock it off.
He's on a roll.
Oh, I don't have billions of dollars.
Sarah says, "I love the kitty cat." So
Everyone loves the
do
cat
I.
when she
would-
comes on the
I
show.
would too if it was cold enough. She's amazing. My cat's awesome. She's probably one of the best. Folks, we got to have a little crude humor. You know what I'm saying? So here's what it comes down to. Here's my question, Mike. You're a climatologist, even though there's no such thing.
Right.
So basically, but we can make up words now. So you're a climate activist.
Okay.
Here's my question. Thank you. I appreciate your argument. I respect all of that. Please tell me right now, how do we solve it?
Can we get rid of every liberal so that way they're not secreting any more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, just slow whatever crap is happening?
It's interesting. Let me tell you the crap that's happening. You want to know?
Mm-hmm.
So the index of CO2 in the air, I think that the sweet spot is between 2 and 4%. So at 2, anything below 2%, we all die, because all the plants and all the vegetation die because there's not enough CO2 in the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And then at 4%, we all die from CO2 poisoning. So there's a very small. So when we go up 0.1%, it's concerning because you're getting closer to that number.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what's happened with the increase in CO2. They have just released a report. I talked about this last night, where they're seeing a 400% increase in overall vegetation and new tree and new grass growth on the planet. The planet is enjoying the CO2 rich environment. So the problems that they were complaining about, all those trees that were getting burned down in the rainforest and how we didn't allow the clover to grow in our grass. So we had 50,000 bees on there. So when we walked outside, we all got stung to death.
Oh my God, I remember that.
Those bastards. Now you're getting what you wanted.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Now if we get too many trees,
right,
that's going to bring that down. So we're going to have to start killing trees here soon. So that way the carbon dioxide doesn't get too low. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, if inflation keeps going the way it is, they're going to be cutting down a lot of trees to make more money.
Oh, well, that's true. That'll solve everything.
So hold on a second. I got something. I don't. This is what it gets confusing. Is Jeff Fitzgerald is somebody we know personally, but I'm confused because either you're giving me something that sounds like a prop, and then you're telling me to not do something. So let me see. I understand, Matt. This show design.
Creative. I bet he means carbon.
Yeah.
I think
but
it's
reduce.
supposed to be a joke.
Reduce
It's
your carbon
supposed-
footprint. Okay.
I think it's supposed to be a
'Cause
joke,
I'm like-
and it's
I
actually
was
pretty
like,
funny.
No, it's funny now if you would have spelled it right. I mean, if you could deliver the punchline, Jeff. I mean, it says, Matt, this show design is hot, but reduce your creative footprint. I understand because he's replacing carbon and creative, and it's very smart.
Yes.
It's very intelligent. I'm going to pay my creative tax to Al Gore as soon as we're done here. Yes, give him a golf clap. Golf clap. Just kidding. No, don't push it. Just a golf clap. Yes, Jeff. Well done. It's my fault. I wasn't on the uptake. Yeah, man, we've done some cool things with the show. I've spent some time using my creative genes, and I think this set's going to be here for a while. I think it looks good, and
as long as they're not skinny jeans.
You know what we need to do?
What?
Is we need to start just making small, minute changes and see if Benny Johnson follows suit just to do it.
Oh yeah, you know what?
Just to see if he does
like
it.
we should put like a blow up doll in the background and put like Nancy Pelosi's name on it hanging from it.
Don't.
And I guarantee he'll put that up.
That is where nightmares come from.
Benny
Please
Johnson will just
stay away from that.
be like, this is a good idea. Anyway, listen, here's what it comes to. I don't know anything about, I'm not a scientist. Just like the vaccine, I'm not going to give you personal advice. And if people come and knock on my door and say, hey, how do you solve climate change? You don't. Because the climate's always changing. And how do I know? Because I can literally walk outside and do this, and I will see a change within 2 or 3 minutes. Maybe the wind, maybe the temperature, maybe dew point, whatever it is. It's always changing. So let's just be honest about what we're worried about. You're scared. You're scared of storms. You're scared of fire. You're scared of guns. You're scared about losing whales and the white Bengal tiger. You're scared about the ozone. You're scared about murder hornets. You're scared of a cold.
I mean, if it gets rid of murder hornets, let's burn down some shit.
But you people are scared of everything. Listen, first of all, the reason why you're so, I'm just going to say it, and I hate to, you don't have any faith. You don't have any faith in yourself. You don't have any faith in humanity. You don't have any faith in God. You don't have any faith in your government. You don't have any faith in anything. And that's what happens when you have no guidance for your spirit. You are so afraid of everything that you have to make sure that everybody feels the same way you do. Otherwise, you can't justify your existence.
Well, is it faith or just a basic understanding of how everything works and why there are certain things out there to help with ecosystems? Like just a very basic understanding of this is life.
But that's faith. You have faith that you can't control it. You have a faith that this is going to happen anyway. The Earth has gone through cycles and shed its skin several times.
Well, we went from flat to round.
Right.
That's amazing.
No, it's still flat. What are you doing? It's still flat. What's wrong with you? Seriously, you're a smart guy.
If it's flat, eventually I would have rolled off of it already.
That's true. That's true. My point is this: is that for the last 60 years we've heard from fluorocarbons, CFCs. To the ozone, to Aquanet hairspray, to the rainforest, to fires, to murder hornets, to acid rain. We can go on and on. Nuclear meltdown from nuclear reactors.
Yeah, Chernobyl about that.
COVID. I mean, give me a break, man. Every single 5 or 6 years, something is going to end us. And here's what it comes down to. When it's our time, it's our time. Mm-hmm. You can't control it. And that's what I'm talking about, faith. You have to have faith. If it's God, fine. If it's just faith that you don't have control, there's something that's extremely soothing once you realize that you don't have control over any of this.
Well, I had faith we would have hoverboards by 2015, and that got...
It was 2012. 2012.
A huge letdown on that one.
Well... maybe someday. Maybe someday. Last topic.
We can blame Michael J. Fox for that one, that we don't have him.
What do you mean?
I heard he was going to open up a ice cream shop.
Yeah,
but
he
I guess
can't.
they only make
his
shakes.
hands don't work. His hands don't, milkshakes. I was going to say he can't. His hands don't work.
Milkshakes.
One of the best things in Back to the Future is when he goes up and he's like, "Can I get a Pepsi free?" He's like, "If you want a Pepsi, you're going to pay for it, pal.
You're going to pay for it, pal."
Can I get a tab? He's like, you want a tab? You got to buy something. And he's just like, oh, man. Anyway,
Look, just
all right,
give me
let's get
something that doesn't have any sugar.
Sugar in it, please. Coffee. He's like, do you just get out of the Coast Guard? Just get off the Navy? Just pull into port?
Right.
Oh, nice life preserver, pal. Dude, knock it off. We can't do this anymore. Okay. Joe goes to Palestine. Palestine, Ohio.
Can I'll pay for the plane ticket.
Young
if he wants to go to
Frankenstein.
Palestine.
Joe Biden goes to Palestine. Here's the thing. You want to know why? Is because
Trump did it.
Joe Biden reacted because Trump said, I'm going to hit him on this, and I'm going to do a campaign commercial. They got wind of it, and they said, well, we better go. So if Trump is truly evil and he's the devil, Why are you running your campaign based upon what he thinks and what he doesn't? You obviously care about his opinion very much. Here's the video. Let's watch this. We have a sign language interpreter, which is always fun. I kind of just want to throw something at them when they when they do this,
they're able to be
just to see their reaction.
You know what you should play?
What?
That little comedy reel that you showed me where it was the comedian on stage and he was talking to the person in the audience who was doing the sign language and about the Democrats.
So the thing. That's a good one. Okay, I don't use the word retarded. It's something that I don't ever. No one's ever heard me say it. I don't say it. Now I'll say F-tard, but I don't use it in written form. But anyway, so I guess the sign for Democrat is this, which demonstrates the donkey ears, and then I don't know if that's accurate. It's something like this, and then the sign for retard is like something. It's
almost the exact same.
It's almost exactly the same. But I do want to show you one video before we show you this, and I did an article that I think you guys would appreciate in regards to Joe Biden's stuporific moments. The top 10. And I showed this to Mike, and Mike almost crapped himself. And it's talking.
That happens often.
Right. So this video was done by Comedy Central. And it's probably the funniest thing they've done in years because they don't do anything funny anymore. But I want you to watch this because this is concerning. There's some language in here, so don't get all freaking nutso, folks. But this is funny and scary at the same time. Listen to this, and then we'll have a quick conversation.
Look at these jokers. No, I'm serious. Look at these fucking shitbirds. We can't let them back in, smearing shit on the walls of democracy. Now, hey, I know I'm old as fuck. I get it, America. I'm tired. I'm slowing down. I make Al Pacino look like Timothy fucking Chalamet. I know I wasn't your first choice in 2020. Hell, I wasn't my first choice. You think I like getting a syringe of B12 plunged in my ass every morning just to stay alert enough to run this country? Shit, no. But these are the cards we're dealt, Jack. I'm gonna be so hopped up on goofballs and cocaine, I'm gonna make Don Jr. look normal. Reality is I can't step down and let who? Kamala run? Have you seen her as Veep? Get the fuck out of here. My priorities in 2024. Number one is I'm not the guy who sent a violent clown brigade to kill Nancy Pelosi. So all I can say is a vote for me is a vote for 4 more years of holding fascism at bay. Or as long as this ticker keeps pumping a minimal amount of blood for consciousness. And if you can't tell this is an AI-generated voice, then lots of luck in your senior year. Whatever the fuck that means.
Oh my God.
Brilliant.
That was great.
Oh, that's awesome.
So...
Yeah.
But that's where AI has gone. I showed Mike this too, and this is scary. Over 300,000 strokes. No, I'm not talking about my time alone without Olivia today. I'm talking about that's not enough stroke. This photograph is the picture that I took for one of the covers of the shows today. And I'm showing it to you guys right now. It's coming up. This is the photo. Still looking quite youthful. I feel good. I don't feel like I look like I'm 50. But what I did is I said, you know what? I want to, and I'm sorry I'm going to put this over here. Leroy, I apologize. You know what? And I'll just put it over here. Hold on a second. And see if I can get this open real quick. I don't want to cover anyone's face. Okay, so image is here, and I'm flipping over right now. So there's the image, and I typed into AI, and I simply said, please recreate this image with brush strokes and paint it like an artist would. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I said, make sure there's 300,000 strokes. Here's the result.
God,
you can zoom into, it's 3 gigs. You can zoom into it almost to the pixel, and you can actually see the individual strokes of the image.
Damn.
This is terrifying. It took the query to return about 12 minutes to download, but to create only took like 30 seconds. But the site was very, very slow. But in the end, This would take somebody 60 hours to do as an artist, and it was recreated with AI in a matter of seconds.
Wow.
Folks, that is terrifying.
Yeah. This is going to be the new wave of everything now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I love it because it's my new profile picture for every video. But when you zoom into this, you can see that it's painted. And you can go further, but I don't have the original image up. But you can even just look at the individual hairs on the on the beard. You can see that those are all brush marks. Mm-hmm. It's incredible what AI can do, and although it's great for me because I love learning it and playing with it because it's a blast for me. I think it's great, but it's terrifying. And there's going to come a point where we're not going to know what's real, and the people who are the most critical, like myself or Mike or Leroy or even Olivia, who are skeptical by nature now, might be fooled because we truly don't take the time to research. And now I can't believe my eyes. For years, I didn't believe my ears, and now I can't believe my eyes or my ears. And we're going to have to develop a sense that's completely different than what we're currently using to uncover whether things are real or not. And it's scary.
Well, we're going to have to get to a point where we take that stuff and we ask AI, is this AI?
Yeah.
And then is AI going to be able to know that it's AI or not?
Yeah. Yeah, and I love what it created. I'm like, I'm happy. I think it looks great, and I think it's a great picture, and I'm going to use it on the cover of my show from now on. And
well done, Sarah.
But guess, Sarah's hilarious. That pic will terrify me and haunt my nightmares. Why did you say that? What am I missing?
Well, what about the pic of me on the front cover?
Yeah, it's incredible.
That's not me. I mean, it's a pic of, we took a picture of me and put it in AI, and that's what it came up with. So I never took that picture.
And it's it's crazy. I mean, you can see it's insane. It's just crazy what it can do now. Colleen says your incredible genius is showing. What am I lost? What's going on?
I'm not sure. I did have a quick comment on the Palestine thing.
Yeah. We're going to get to that video. I'm sorry I cut. Go ahead and let's watch the video so everybody knows what happened, and then you make comments.
Sure,
cool?
Sure. Yeah.
You make sweet comments.
I was going to say you make poo-poo and pant.
Oh,
$5 comment, though, not $10.
Here we go. Question. I'm still trying to learn what the hell people are talking about.
Within hours working.
Hold on a second, everybody. All right.
My administration was on the ground within hours working.
What the hell? Hold on. Okay, guys, shut up for a second, will you? God. Talking through the video. Seriously. It's like at a movie theater.
I was just going to say, have some popcorn to throw.
On the ground within hours, working closely with the governor, the mayor, the senators, the House members, community leaders, to make sure you have everything you need. My administration ordered Norfolk Southern to clean up the mess it created and ensure it was done right. That includes an executive order I signed to continue our priority to hold Norfolk Southern fully accountable for this disaster and any long-term effects that are able to be identified as time goes on. Not just here, but also in Darlington, Pennsylvania, where I just visited an hour or so ago. My administration was on the ground.
Okay.
Chelsea Clinton got a new job.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The sign language interpreter looks like Chelsea Clinton on a really bad day.
Look at this. She looks like a gangster, man. She looks like she's throwing. Look at this. She's like West Side.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
All right. Leroy, tell us what's going on, and then everyone can chime in for the end of tonight.
Just so that everyone who's watching, and it's a couple hundred of you. I live in the state of Ohio, and when I do my daily commute to and from, I always listen to the local news. Last week, there was a story that was being played that said that, hey, Joe Biden wanted to go out to Palestine, Ohio, but the mayor there said, no, thank you. You're not welcome. And the whole to-do for that was that the fact that it was exactly 1 year later, right? So this was actually not last week. This was last month. So I remember very distinctly this story being played out, and it was all over the media here, that He was going to go out there, and the mayor was like, no thanks. You didn't come out here for the last year. You just stay where you're at. Now, a month later, and it seems like all of that just kind of got papered over. That's all been forgiven now, right? And the whole point, to Matt's point, is that this is purely political. Joe Biden doesn't give a rat's ass about the people of Palestine. He is only doing it because it's political.
Yep.
So,
He's gaslighting people, man. He's sitting
absolutely.
here saying, my administration was on the ground on day one. No, it was not. FEMA dialed it in. FEMA didn't show up for, 3.5 weeks? Pete Buttigieg didn't show up for 3.5 weeks. And then when he did, he wore that stupid-ass hard hat with a safety vest. Freaking clown. Biden, you've had a year to do this. And for you to pretend that you give a crap, he still hasn't been to Maui. He hasn't been to the Maui fires.
Oh, wait. Should we take bets on what month he goes there right before the election?
Well, you got to. Trump didn't go to Maui, so he's not going to do it.
Oh, okay.
So that's the problem, is that if Trump is so evil, then why are you allowing him to dictate what you do? You know what I would say? Screw you, Trump. I'm not going to Palestine, Ohio, because I didn't go. We sent blah, 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 blah. Tell them the reason why. But you can't do that because you've been called out on it. I'm so tired of the political charade. When are people are just going to actually be honest? Why is it so hard for people to say, you know what? Donald Trump did some things I didn't like. Joe Biden does things I don't like. Why do we have to show this unfettered loyalty? And why do we pretend that these guys are kings?
Right.
They put their pants on the same way. They go through the same hardships we do. I don't understand why we've somehow created these people as monolithic heroes for us to admire, because I can't seem to understand it. This border bill is a perfect example why the Republicans and Democrats are both fucked.
Mm-hmm. There's a pretty sizable population that seems to be enthralled with like that show that's on Netflix about the Royals. What's it called? Is it the Royals? Something like that.
Sure.
I don't know. It's about the British Parliament. It's about the drama between the kings and the princes and the princesses, and it's like everyone seems to get enthralled with those high levels of position and power, and they love to get into the gossiping type world that is that. And I could never get into it, and I think it's because
they love drama.
There's a big segment of the population that treats our president like that. And they don't realize that, in fact, that the president works for them, not the other way around. And I think that's a big part of it, right? I mean, it's one of those things where we just, I don't know why. Like, why people get so enthralled with that.
But I got to make a quick correction. Joe Biden and Trump did go to Maui. I should have been very, very specific. They didn't go to Maui when it counted. So it's not about doing a flyover. I don't know how long it took Trump, but I'm pretty sure it was within a month. Is that fair? Which is fine.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the last thing they needed was to have, if you've never seen a presidential convoy, it's effing freaking nuts. And I've seen quite a few of them. It's insane what they have to do. The second thing is Trump is the same way, whether president or not. He drives with a motorcade as well. So I don't have a problem with Biden and Trump not going in the heart of it. But you could have sent aid in a way that made an impact. You could have released funding. You could have done things that were different. You didn't. And I don't know. I guess Trump did go. I don't remember. He said he went out there and he handed stuff out. I stand corrected. I take a lot of stuff in my brain, and I probably data dumped it at that point. My point is that Trump showed up to Palestine. Obviously, Trump went to Maui. Trump was in Texas. Trump went to the California fires. Trump actually shows up. And when he does, they make fun of him for throwing out paper towels and buying food and stuff like that. But it's better than Joe Biden, who literally does nothing. He says nothing. He does nothing. And those people in Ohio, do you think they benefited from this at all? No, he used them. He used them at the beginning.
Yep.
He didn't care about them, and he's using them now. This is what he does.
Let's see, and just to get your heart and your hope for after some of these accidents, you just need a little bit. And them just showing up and be like, you know what, I care enough that I'm going to take some time out of my day to come see this and hand out a couple of bottles of water, then the grand scheme of thing really means nothing. But the fact that you had a tragedy and the leader of our government is going to take the time to do that, like that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
But when you do it 13 months later, being like, I probably need to do this because like politically, like they all know it. And I love in that video the mayor that was behind Biden.
Yeah.
He's just looking around. Like, it
oh,
was
yeah.
the
His face.
funniest thing.
Like, watch this.
I mean, the perfect look right there. It's like, that is amazing.
I'm going to mute
am I
it
doing?
and just play it. Like, I don't know what's funny, the interpreter or the mayor who's just like, what in the shit is he talking about?
I don't understand. And honestly, I didn't even listen to Biden because I was just looking at him the whole time.
Well, look at the interpreter. She's like, yeah. She's like, this is all a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
I just listen. I don't think that Joe Biden is a malicious, evil person. I think he's being taken advantage of. He's being propped up, and he's going to get removed one of two ways: the 25th Amendment, or they're going to get him on impeachment. And I think the American public, this is my prediction. I'm not ready to predict yet, but I'm pretty confident they're going to give the Republicans the Senate. They're going to give the purse strings to the House, to the Democrats, and they're going to give them the White House. And there's three ways that the American public usually vote. They vote by giving a mandate, which is all three branches of the House, two houses of Congress, and the presidency. They give them a split Congress and House with a non-incumbent, so like a Republican president with a Democratic Senate or House, and vice versa, with one going to one party and one going the other. And then they repudiate and take the purse strings financially and give it to the House. They give the Senate the overall override power, so because they don't trust the president.
Right.
And that move has happened many times. Happened in Obama's administration. And it's a lame duck presidency. Essentially, when that happens, you're a lame duck president. Your entire term is lame duck. And I believe that the United States of America is going to put in a lame duck president. So they can't do any more damage. And they're going to force them to fight it out. And this is what happened under Ronald Reagan. This is where we saw Tip O'Neill reach across the aisle. This is where we saw when we brought in Bill Clinton, and you saw Newt Gingrich, how he had to reach across the aisle. You saw Alan Cranston from Wyoming, who was just a hardliner. I mean, you had these guys literally work together, but something needs to change, because inside politics, the one thing about the definition of the word politics, Liv, can you look it up, please? And read it to everybody what politics means. I can't give you and recite it completely. But let's see what she has to say.
Pile of blood-sucking insects?
Yes, that's the second definition. I want the literal definition.
That's a pile of ticks. Oh, that's okay.
Yes. So the word politics, listen to this.
The science or art of political government is the first one. The practice or profession of conducting political affairs is the second.
Conducting political affairs. And the word affairs in this is a mutually beneficial agreement. Not affair as I'm going to go ahead and sleep with the next door neighbor. Even though that a lot of them do that, and there's slush funds for that. So an affair is an accord. An affair is an agreement. They don't do that anymore. And the way that they propose legislation is one of the most asinine things I've ever seen in the world, which is pork barrel politics, put all pieces of legislation together where nobody will agree. You have conflicts of interest. If you're trying to secure the U.S. border, and that is your number one focus, why in the hell are you trying to secure a foreign government's border at the same time? Mm-hmm. And if you're trying to secure a foreign government's border, which is fine, then why are you trying to secure the U.S. border at the same time? Because domestic and world are two different things. Domestic policy and world policy are handled by two different branches of government. When we look at states and individual and national policy, that is the President of the United States' responsibility to protect our borders. It's first and foremost their job to enforce the laws of these lands, to protect the people from all enemies, foreign and domestic. That is the quote. That's what senators do. That's what state legislators do. That's what soldiers do. We all make that pledge. The same pledge. It's not different for anybody. We all make the same pledge to the Constitution of the United States. Mm-hmm. And when you make global policy from the Resolute desk and make commitments from the United States from an economic standpoint, from a humanitarian standpoint, from a military standpoint, without the approval of the American people, not only is that dereliction of duty, but it's treasonous. The President of the United States does not work on the will of the people. He works on the will of the states and the will of the governors. The elected representatives works off the will of the people. However, the boss of the president is the people, are the people. So what I don't understand is why we continue this race that somehow each branch of government is responsible. The Senate blames the House blames the Senate, the House blames the President blames the SCOTUS blames the frickin' Senate. And you see that when they are all have individual jobs for a reason. And I'm going to say this last time and then everyone can say what they want to say. Number one, legislative branch is the House, is Congress, Senate. That is their job. They create legislation. They control the funding to get legislation pushed through. They appropriate the funds for that. They have subpoena power in some cases. They have individual branches inside the chambers of Congress, which are responsible for certain things: energy, agriculture, Senate oversight, intelligence, etc., etc. But they legislate. The judicial branch is the SCOTUS, the district, the federal judges. These are the people who ultimately interpret the law to ensure that it follows the Constitution of the United States. And the President of the United States, simple end of story, uses executive order to push forward the legislation that passes through Congress. He doesn't create executive order to usurp other presidential orders. He doesn't use executive orders to overthrow the will of the people.
Right.
This is all defined, yet these sons of bitches keep playing in different ends of the pool that they're not supposed to be playing, and they are supposed to hold each other accountable. That's what checks and balances is. And when the Senate gets into areas of the pool that they're not supposed to be in, the judicial branch should slap them down with furious anger. And the House should do the same. And when the House and the Senate go out of line, the President of the United States should get involved, and as the President of the Senate and the Vice President, to go in and say, enough's enough. Do you think Reagan didn't go on the Hill? Do you think Clinton didn't go on the Hill? Do you think Bush, do you think Obama didn't go on the Hill? I haven't seen, Donald Trump went on the Hill and met with legislators. Joe Biden doesn't even know, he's over the hill.
He's over the hill a few times.
So I'm not trying to preach, but what I'm saying is that all facets of our government are completely discombobulated and screwed up. We need a reset. We need a national vote. And I would start, it's very similar to when you're going outside to play football with all your friends and little Billy's there and little Johnny's there, and they're all the last pick. And everyone's like, can we start over? Because I don't want either of them. And we need to refresh. We need to get everybody out. Senate and House are no longer voted on off years and every year. It is literally every 2 years. All of them are voted on at the same time. Same time, 2 years, that's it. If you have a replacement, they get the rest of the clock, and then they got to frickin' reelect at that 2-year mark. Senate gets their 6 years. Fine. But they all get voted on the same time. That way you get a fresh Congress. The people can say no more. But right now, all it's doing is just replacing shit with shit. Mm-hmm. You can't You can't make enough change to stop the erosion and the corrosion of our government because it is a toxic infestation and you've got to cut it out from the core. It is a cancer. And the good people who go there turn bad because of the influence of the majority. I'm done with my preaching. That's the longest damn minute I've ever had. I'll hand it over to everyone else. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So one question I did have for this is probably going to be for another show. Now I'm curious on the math for when you were talking about the different ways that people vote. What is it going to take and what states are actually going to flip for Republican for the Senate? I'd be curious to see like how you see that actually playing out, to see that swap.
Wow.
Yeah. I know that could probably be like a whole show.
No, it is, but we'll do that during our election when we get a little closer. But I can already tell you it's not going. I'm telling you right now, Republicans are not winning the House. They're not winning the Senate.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're in trouble.
Yep.
Republicans right now, they're going to get swept. They're going to lose the House. They're going to lose the Senate. They're going to lose the presidency. That is my gut. Because you can look at the individual elections. We lost 2018. We lost 2020. We lost 2022. And so far in 2023 and 2024 for all inner elections or replace. Look what happened to Santos. Santos' seat, it was just filled by a Democrat. We have a one-person majority in the House. One. We're going to lose it. Yeah, we're in deep shit. Republicans have no platform. They've got 3 different parties. We're in deep trouble.
I have a question that's like totally off topic again.
Yeah,
but
real quick, we do have term limits. It's called voting. Go ahead, Liv.
It just popped into my head though. Was there a State of the Union this year?
Yeah.
There was.
Well, not this year. There was last year.
Don't they do one every January?
No, it's.
I thought Trump.
Don't know if it's in January.
It's not in January. I want to say. Hold on.
I remember there was one last year. I just always thought it was around this time, and I'm like, I don't remember seeing it.
It is around this time. I'm gonna find out for you because I thought.
Because I always thought, because like their first State of the Union is the acceptance speech when they're sworn in as president. So it's always right around the end of January.
No, it's the end of February. It's March or something. I'm trying to look for it right now.
So while they're doing that, I'll do one little plug.
It is March.
7th.
Okay.
March 7th. Go ahead.
Got it.
Check on your friends. I don't care if they're military, first responders, whatever. Check on them, see if they're okay. Because I'm tired of going to funerals of people taking their own lives.
Yes.
So check on them. Even if you don't know the person, you think they're having a bad day, just go say hello. We need to do something to actually turn this crap around. So if you see something, just go say hi, go give a smile, whatever you feel like doing. But we need something.
988. Text 988 for help. Veteran crisis lines available. Press 1. I couldn't say it better myself. Liv, final minute. What do you got? Go to Spreely TV, right?
Yeah, go to Spreely TV.
Spreely.tv. Go sign up. Go over to Spreely Social, Spreely Video, Spreely News. Go and say hello. Sign up. We can watch us over there. We're live over there. What's going on for the weekend? Nothing. Olivia and Olivia and I are taking a break. I need a day off.
Our daughter hates winter because she can't go spend the night at somebody's house because we're not driving tomorrow.
It's probably a good idea. Leroy,
you got your minute. Go.
All right. Well, first of all, big shout out to Spreely TV and a thank you. Second of all, while Matt was droning on and on. I'm kidding. I love you, brother. While he was talking about
it doesn't say the Leroy show. So
when he was talking about the roles and responsibilities of the president and the 3 branches, a little bug flew in my ear, and I went ahead and looked up Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution. The United States shall guarantee to every state in the Union a republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion, not as a collective, each of them.
Individuals.
And I just what's going on in my head right now is that just Texas is echoing. Like it's his job to protect each state from invasion. And I would highly encourage everyone to verify what I just said by looking into the Documents of Freedom that Matt has up on the website for $64.99. It's a great purchase. It's a great looking product. And I'm going to order mine right now.
Documents of Freedom, coming available to you in 3D.
3D.
Custom box. Mike got to
Look
see
at
it.
that.
Mm-hmm. It's cool. It sits right back here. It's on every show. Listen, folks, there's plenty of stuff. We got the new Red Friday shirt, which I know Mike's going to want because it looks.
Have you seen it, Mike?
There it is.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It looks cool. And it fades into the black. Anyway, new Red Friday shirt. Go over to thedumbshow.com. Listen, the last thing. Mike, you got your minute. You got it. You talked about veteran crisis. Liv, do you have anything else?
Nope. If you're in the path of the snowstorm, stay warm and safe.
Oh, man, I'm going to stay warm and safe. I'm excited.
Let's not go there.
Oh, I'm excited. I get to have a fire with my lovely wife and enjoy some time with the kids.
Did you have the kids bring in more firewood?
Nope, didn't do it. I forgot. Little busy trying to pay the mortgage. Real quick, just to let you guys know, if I've had several people ask, and they're like, Matt, and I'm not kidding. First of all, the donations have been incredible. Thank you so much for all your help. It means the world to us. And this is my job. This is my full-time job. I want Mike to be able to have a job. I want Leroy to have a job. We're working hard to get there. We've got to make a little bit of an empire here going on. The best way to do that, first of all, you can go and follow us here. Everything you want to see, whether it's thedumbshow.com, Dumb News, you simply click it, and it hot links you to everything that we do, which is really cool. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram. Every one of our major sites are right here, but this one is the big one in blue. You can donate to the show. Anything helps. You can do a reoccurring donation. You can do a one-time donation. The people who have donated, I've tried to write you personal individual emails. Thank you so much. It means the world. Every time it comes through, I'm working on a program that's going to have that pop up. Every time you buy a shirt, every time you donate, or every time you follow a page, it's going to pop up and say it right here for everyone to see. That means the world to me. So I'm working on getting those things built so that you can just go to the site and it's going to show up on the live show because we get so many sales. There's like every night, there's a couple $100 worth of stuff that you guys buy, and that pays the bill. So thank you for everything you do. We appreciate you. We know it's tight and you have a decision to make, and we love that you make it with us. There it is. See, this is what I'm working on. So this happens. There it is. Super chat, $4.99 from Melanie.
Nice.
I want my dang minute too. So that's gonna come, and what will happen is there'll be a little pop up, and like Melanie just gave $1. We're not big enough for that to happen all the time, but when people do it, I am gonna recognize it. So Melanie, thank you for your help. Good night, everybody. We're getting some feedback.
It's Mike's phone is up on the desk, isn't it?
It's been there the whole time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What it is, it's an update. It's Bluetooth activating somewhere in the room, and it's sending out an update. I don't know why it does that. Listen, we got to go. Appreciate you guys. No show tomorrow. We might have a news article or something, but we're back Monday. Have a recorded show, have a couple news articles, and we'll be back Monday night, which usually has the full crew here. Are you going to be here Monday, or can you not make it?
No, Monday I can do.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Deborah on YouTube said, I would donate if you started Naked Thursdays.
Oh, you don't want to see that.
Well, I don't know. I think you guys are speaking for yourself. I don't look too bad naked.
I'm gonna pass. That's a hardcore pass.
You look
for
the
me.
best naked.
I'm
out of
sure
everybody.
I do.
I'm gonna need facts. We're gonna need to see some evidence of that, folks. Thanks for watching the Donut Friendly Show. God bless. Have a great weekend. Take care of yourself. Stay warm.
Good night,
have
folks.
a fire and stay inside. Leroy, love you, buddy. Thanks, man.
Love you guys.
Night,
Have a good one. We'll see
y'all.
See you guys. Bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the Spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.